is Ed Harrell. I'm the chair of Open Space Preservation Commission, and just here to talk about our last meeting. We meet the first Thursday of each month, almost always. And so our meeting was this immediate past Thursday. And we had one item of, I think, interest, and the others were fairly straightforward. So the first on our agenda was Pratt Farm and the property management, and this has been being kicked around now. This would, I think, be the third meeting where this was on the agenda. And we were graced with the presence this time of Elaine Lazarus and Mike Bolson, who have been very involved in putting together a draft of a management plan. And after considerable discussion, we left this topic with open space going to look into the invasive situation, which is a topic near and dear to my heart, but I was not the one that pressed for this. I want to point that out. Look into what might be there in the way of invasives. And my takeaway was to check in with SVT SISMA, which is the organization from which we got a grant a few years ago for the invasive eradication at the Whitehall Conservation Area. The unfortunate news is the deadline on the grant is fast approaching. And the good news is that they might issue a grant for merely the, it's getting old and you can't remember anything, census of invasives that might be present. So we would, look through the property, which is basically the big meadow area and bounded by Whitehall Brook, by Pratt's Pond, to see what there might be there in the way of invasives like bittersweet and knotweed, etc. So this would not be a grant to fund the eradication. This would merely be a grant to look for and educate a group about finding them. And this is I provided this information to Town Hall, and whether we managed to get our nose in the door before the grant window closes, I have no idea. So that was the first item on our agenda. Second item on the agenda, the Huffington Garden Club is going to be having an invasive plant program in their February meeting. And they've asked Open Space, they've asked me to participate in that meeting. And I, in turn, have suggested that Freddie Gillespie, who is an invasive plant guru in Southborough and the head of Southborough's Open Space Preservation Group, should be invited. And she has a semi-conflict, so I don't know whether she'll make it, but that was the topic for that. Whitehall Conservation Area, it's always on our agenda. The only thing that was new was that Friends of Whitehall had done some trimming of a large pine grove of, like, these trees are so close together that maybe 3 of them will be still alive in 10 years. And so they did some trimming of that, and there's a flowering tree behind it. And I walked that this weekend with Joe Regan, tree guy here in town, and his prognosis on the flowering tree is to be charitable, not hopeful. So it's really been a major concern of mine that we try to give this tree a go. And Joe said that it's not worth the effort. So anyway, that has not yet been discussed at Open Space. So there's a hot off the press. We have an incursion issue that's been ongoing, and this is a topic for executive meeting. So we have our next session, we'll have an executive session to talk about that. And then last was I partook in a couple Zoom classes, and I'm not sure I could reading the link. Maybe the thing for me to do is to send the links to HCAM, and HCAM can somehow figure out how to put them into this. So the two training sessions I took, one is titled "The Economic Benefits of Open Space to Massachusetts Communities," and it was a very interesting presentation about basically how to sales pitch when you have property that you want the town to acquire, which of course means typically a transfer of cash. How to sell that to those who are going to have to vote to support it. And then the other one, there's this and another piece that I want to mention that we didn't talk about because it wasn't out yet. This is a presentation by Sudbury Valley trustees called Conservation in the SuAsCo, which is the Sudbury Assabet River watershed and Concord watershed, of which Lake Whitehall and Hopkinton is a part. I wouldn't go so far as to say that Lake Whitehall is the headwaters for the Sudbury River, but it may be Cedar Swamp in Westboro, but close enough. And it is 4 different databases that are on maps